Guys, I have a review coming up of this product here. I purchased it, using it. It's from, I'm not really marketing them, but they're the cheapest around right now. I added a 2-year warranty to it, just telling you what I did. So I get to drop it, break it. It's covered for 2 years. That was an additional $20. So that a total of 2 years from order time. I don't think it's from my actual arrival at my door time, but what's a few days amongst friends. But that is the way things used to break, right? It used to break on the last day of the warranty when you go to return it or take it in. Um, so we're going to beat this up. I'm going to use about 12 buckets in a row of this product. It's really killing me to wait to get around to doing this. Um, the the I use a mixer, a barrel mixer. If you put the barrel mixer, and I was going to do separate video on that, you should consider putting your barrel mixer on a lean inwards, almost as the material is going to fall out. It will allow the material to, instead of bind up in the back of the barrel, to fall down as it rotates to the top. It will fall down. It will lose its grip to the back of the suction to the back of the plastic barrel in my case, and drop down. It gives a nice mix of pretty much all materials so far. There is no way out, pretty much, of not getting to the back of the mixer and scraping off some dry materials to get it integrated through everything. Everything gets integrally mixed. Then we have this mixer, which, if you look at reviews, different ones, including this type of mixer, including the one from RIDGID. RIDGID, I saw a buyer, a confirmed buyer by the website, stated that his overheated and put him on timeout while it cooled down, while the thermally overheated. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'll stay away from that at this point. And another guy, a YouTuber, stated that, well, let me find it, and that way you can see it's kind of twofold. What I'm going to be talking about, one would be how you trust these guys, some YouTubers, to give you the good data, and it turns out that they're holding back on you. Maybe they got the material for cheap, or, as you know, like, psychologically, you don't want to admit that you just been duped. Everyone states that this can get the corner of the buckets. Where the bottom of the bucket meets and the walls meet. See the shape of it? It would have it would have to be dragging that out as it rotates near the edge of the bucket, the bottom of the bucket, or dragging it out in a suction format, or dragging it out, pushing it out to get to that section there. I can't imagine that you would be able to mix the edges that perfectly. I'd use another paddle blade that is square shaped, if you will, and it will beat the edge of the bucket. It'll get all that out of there, dragging out whatever it may do. But I use it on an auger drill, an angle drill, and it's just not fun. So I'm going to try to use the dual blades mixing. Again, I just purchased this. The dual blade mixing, which should be putting everything sort of in equilibrium, the torque actions, and just give me a mixing action at that point. That's what I hope for. We shall see. We shall see. All right. But let me get you that video and show you what I mean here. Well, maybe I won't. Let me a minute to think about it. A moment to think about it. So if we run over to part of my history, well, you guys might like that. I was going to get you this video statics the easy way. I'm always refreshing and learning, always learning, guys. So, this person's format of teaching, and I only made it that far, but so far, no issues as far as me learning this format, this person's form of teaching it. All right, so this is Landberg tile rather, and here's Pro Tool reviews right here. I like Pro Tool reviews, and I made a comment as such. And this guy down here also made a comment as such. So let's go to Landberg tile, where I bailed on him.
Put the screws back in. Here we go. Here's the mixer. Pull this off and take this mixer around. You don't need the stand. You've got two quick little bolts here. Remove the bolts and you can remove this. So we'll show you how that works also. But first, we'll try it with the preset. Here we go.
So this is will be a critique. Give me a minute. So as we look at this, you can see that it can have a pulling effect or a whirlpool effect of everything. And now you got to move it again and move it again and move it again. But this would be good, I guess, if you can walk away from it. I actually considered this until I saw the thermally overloaded part. It's significantly more. This is a $300 bill. And you see him moving it. Now, what happens when he lets go of it? Let go, let go, let go. It wants to default and apparently pull back, so it won't stay in one position beside.
Bottom of the bucket. Got a lot of power, this mixer.
He says it's got a lot of power. This is the part I do like, where you can just mix it and step back. But now you see him working the edges. You see him working the edges still. And I don't know about you, but I don't have time to be carrying around all this equipment.
And there you go.
The lid is...
As you can see, guys, it mixes pretty well. One thing I want to comment on is you do have to move it around a little bit, obviously.
Okay.
There are some chunks in that bucket.
Heard that? There's some chunks in that bucket. So, well, how is this really going to, help your workflow? To some degree, it might. Is it that much? I would say yes, actually, because while you can do something else while this is just standing there for 5 minutes, and this lid is kind of awesome. It's a set it and forget it type lid. It will cycle and then retemper your product. You pull a lid off, it will stop the cycle. It's kind of a cool lid. It's a programmable lid, if you will. So you don't take the lid off, and then you're like, reach down there with your hand to grab some mud or whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden it starts the next cycle, and brrr, now you lost a finger. Because this can shear a finger off easily with those two blades. So you pull the lid off now, and it will stop the cycle. That's what that lid is for, not to stop splashing. Now, let's go for it.
I'd probably prefer this on manual mode. Preset works good, though.
I'll take his advice on that. He prefers manual mode, which means now we're back to manual. So here we go. Here we go.
But yeah, can't really do a preset, hit start, and walk away because you need to move this thing around like that.
Okay.
On the bottom of the bucket to get all that mortar mixed up. I mean, if you were doing a half a bucket of thin set, I think you can do the preset, set it, and walk away. But if you're doing a full bucket like that, you'll need to come back in a few minutes, move this around left to right to get it to mix a little better. So
you see what's going on. So you do have to mix it. And
yeah, let's show you how this thing works off the stand. Here we go. All right, let me show you how it works off the stand.
So he's going to redo some nuts here.
Allen right
Let me fast forward it.
The stored double paddle mixer. And when it's off the stand, you want to use it in manual mode. And then bathrooms in one property or a large amount of flooring, this is a must. It doesn't break your back mixing. You've got a stand. You can maneuver it. Again, this is one badass mixer. It's a beast. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, so I do like his content. I like how he pulls in front of his garage here, wherever it may be, and everything else. So I do like this guy's content. I think I'm not subscribed, but I run across them frequently. So I do like his content. You see where he states, though, that you've got to surface around the bucket there. So it's not a bad, what he just said, the words. I'm trying to get Google to get me. Bad A mixer. It's thermally overloads and shuts you down, as another viewer commented. Then we come here to this review channel.
All right, everyone, I told you it was coming. Here it is. It's the brand new RIDGID Gen 5X.
Oh, notice another tool review guy.
Single paddle mixer. R7135.
So
let's get it going.
Let's just jump. Wait a minute. That's a single blade? That's a single blade. Forget that. Let me go back in time. Go back in time one more time.
The screws back in. Here we go.
So, too far. Back forward. There we go. Right here to Pro Tool Reviews. These guys did a quick review, and what I like it, I'm going to comment down here. I said such. I said, good review. Thanks for the data about not being able to get about 3 inches
so RIDGID has
without
their new
moving
dual
bucket.
paddle programmable power mixer. I want to call it a mud mixer. That's what we use it
All
for.
the other reviews I've seen
so
leave that
dual
data
paddle
out.
mixer,
Thank you.
and it is attached to a stand with an articulating arm. Great stuff.
So 3 inches is huge.
In the hands of a couple of different tile guys. So you've got some automatic mixing modes that they programmed into this thing. So you got presets for thin set.
Let's fast forward
Back
again.
of the bucket. It does get all the way down to the bottom. So a little turn with your foot. You've got everything covered. So all of your dry mix gets up into the mixture, and you can do that pretty easily. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's okay. Now, one of the things that we need to recognize about this tool and understanding where it fits is it's not a replacement for a handheld mixer as far as a direct conversion. There's a couple of products on the market right now. One is from Columix. The other is from BN Products.
Good review, guys.
And it's a combination of a dual paddle mixer and stand, similar to this, but very different. One of the big differences is price. The Columix setup for both is going to cost you about $1,500, and the BN Products is going to be about $600. Now, RIDGID comes in at $299 at Home Depot. So as far as a value proposition goes, pretty stinking good. And of course, that's if it does what it's designed to do and if it outperforms the other stuff that's on the market. And it does both really well. The articulation of the arm is much, much better than either of the other two products that are out there. So big win there. And then it also has the programmable modes that the other two products don't have. So when you look at it compared to those two products, this is definitely a superior product from everything that we've seen so far. The build quality is there. Especially with the mixer itself, well, did they just put a cheap mixer on a good stand? No, it's a solid mixer. It does a great job. So when you're looking at this thing, it is a transition to go from a handheld mixer to this, but once you've got it figured out, it's really going to be a big time saver for you.
Yeah, if you're looking for a simple handheld mixer or a lower cost type of product, that's not what this is. So that was kind of a cool understanding of exactly that it was up against some of these other products that cost quite a bit more.
Right.
And the other thing is the safety factor of the fact that they integrated the lid there on the second cycle, so that if you do set it,
there we go.
It's not a mixture that you clip in. It's permanently attached with a couple of bolts.
Permanently attached with a couple of bolts. So this will be your system. Now, I'm not crying about it. Of course, that's going to get dirty. You're going to have another bucket pulling it in. Normally, you lay this on the ground at that point, right? But here we go.
So, well, not permanently attached. You can take them out if you really want to, but they're attached with a couple of bolts. You don't want to undo them every single time. So that motion isn't the same nice circular motion that you naturally do with your arms with this.
You heard that? That motion is not the same natural motion you do with your arms. But I think you could get used to it, but as you might state.
Single paddle mixer, any handheld mixer. So you'll notice a difference there. But it does cover the entire bucket, save for about 3 inches on the front and the back of the bucket.
There we go.
It does get all the way down to the bottom. So a little turn with your foot. You've got everything covered. So all of your dry mix gets up into the mixture, and you can do that pretty easily. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's okay. Now, one of the things that
that was very important to me about it. Why do you get so many thumbs downs? Whatever. So that 3 inches to me was very important to state. I don't have time to be playing around with 3 inches. So you mix the bucket, and some of this stuff has a temper on it, right? You got to temper it and mix again. But if you never mix the first cycle fully correctly because you lunched, jumping around doing something else, your mixes are now getting corrupted. So I find that to be, you might as well use a hand mixer, spend the 5 minutes there, take your quality time, and do it. And it's a time to take a break, to relax your mind and work the 5 minutes. I'm going to stop the video there. The other one, thermally overload, I'm going to get hold of RIDGID, and if I'm wrong, I'll either put it in the comments or I'll just make the video private afterwards. I'm going to get hold of RIDGID about thermally overloaded product here. Who knows, I might be buying this one in addition. So then let's use this tip from the RIDGID product manual, which I found online. It says, a note, running at low speeds under constant usage may cause the mixture to become overheated. If this occurs, cool the mixer by running it without a load and at full speed. These tooling has like they have a little fan in it, a little shroud that has a fan on it, just like a top of a lawnmower. And that higher speed will help cool it down. Um, so I see what they're going with that. You could probably also just get a garden hose and just soak it down. I'm kidding, of course. If you got a blower, I have one of those little rigid blowers. That would probably cool it down pretty good. Get you instead of the motor creating heat, trying to create a fan that burrow across itself to cool itself. That would probably cool it down more efficiently than if you can have an open. You should be able to find an open place where it goes in there and cool it down externally. Um, so yeah, that's fair game. As this one got character states, that's fair play. So yeah, I may have complained about it thermally overheat. They talk about it. Fair play when you talk about it, and let it be known that your low speed is going to do it but they don't say why. It's the fan usage. You want to get that thing rolling. Um, Again, I use a drum barrel. I love the drum barrel more so, but I'm going to really, really appreciate this too because I do use like I said, an angle drill and a single paddle blade. So let's get back to more content if I can. Well, this is going to be very noteworthy. A whistling or ringing noise coming from the switch during use is a normal part of the switch function. That's an amazing thought. Yeah. All right, that's an amazing thought. Whistling from the switch. I guess the noise comes around the switch because the switch is just, it's not arcing, so it's not coming from the switch. It's coming from around the switch. The switch is just closing an electrical connection. So I find this to be weird in their own statement. They should be more clear and stop treating people like children and state that it's not the switch, it's from the housing or their children, and they don't know where it's coming from. The person that reviewed this, it's not the switch. If you got noises coming from your switch, it could be arcing at that point. You're in trouble. You should go ahead and that's just weird. On a complimentary note, warning: do not allow familiarity with products to make you careless. Remember that a careless fraction of a second is sufficient to inflict severe injury. So, imagine this double-bladed, the one I'm talking about, that you then place it down on the ground. That could rotate. It should stay where it is pretty much, but that's a rotate, kick a rock up, knock you in the eye, and blind you. You've got it. You swing it around. You can hit somebody else's leg with it. You can hit somebody else's feet with it if they don't have shoes on, which we see a lot of people work without shoes, and they tell me it's because it's hot as hell. These are guys, concrete guys, even working down in Florida. So no offense to you guys. Okay, working in sandals. I find that amazing. And things like that. So you should make sure this comes to a complete stop. This doesn't have an auto stop to it. It does not have a brake on it. So make sure it comes to a complete stop while it's in the bucket area. And then when you go to place it down, make sure you have your finger away from the trigger. So if you start to slip, you don't have a reflex action of a grip action, pressing the trigger on, and then consequently and starting this machine up, and the drama happens then. So treat it like a gun, if you will. Treat triggers like a gun, keeping your finger always thinking, if I fall, I'm not going to squeeze this trigger by mistake. Okay, let's look at the concrete chart they have for mixing concrete. Say a bag of Saccrete, for example. Low setting, which we now know that you need to run it on high to cool it down, or it apparently rests for 5 minutes and then remix for 2 minutes. So it appears the run time on this on low and high maxes out at 5 minutes before it needs a significant amount of rest time. 7 minutes here on grout, and then 2 minutes. So grout appears to be even tougher than concrete. So using the grout scale here, we got 5 minutes, rest 7, rotate 2. This could be well, this is weird because some materials don't say 7 minutes. They might even say, rest your product, let it slate, whatever. 7 minutes, 15 minutes, and then mix again. This is going to do 5, rest 7, rotate 2. This. I find this interesting. Maybe a lot of mixes do just say 5 and 7. I haven't used a tile grout in some time. Well, sometime this summer, but frankly, who lets it rest? Who really lets it rest? You let it the full amount of time. Even I don't let it rest the full amount of time. All right, that's the way that is. I confess. I confess. All right, on that, these are my jobs. So it's just, I mean, my own personal job. So if it was if it was a regular job, we follow the directions 100%. On my personal jobs, man, I might bounce all around trying, pushing stuff to the limits. So that's the truth of that. Concrete, 5 minutes, rest 5, final mix 2. So it takes 12 minutes to mix 1 bag of concrete. I would long mix that concrete up by hand, but way before I wait 12 minutes. How about you guys? So my final answer on this is, so we come to the input of electric for this, 10 amps. We jump over there using Google search because it makes it a lot easier. 10 amps to horsepower. We come down to 10 amps. We have 1.5 horsepower. We come over to the Klutch product, and we have 2.2 horsepower product here. 2.2 horsepower. RPMs are different, so we've got significant amount more horsepower inside this Klutch product, and we'll just see how that works, and significantly lower in price. Let's jump out of that and grab the manual for Klutch real quick. So the Klutch expert states, one mixing rod pulls the mortar downward, the other rod pulls the mortar upward. So you're getting this nice rotation of materials inside there. This is the Klutch expert responding to comments inside, well, not advertising for them, the Northern Tools here. And I'm going to ask them about the, I need the manual, but I'm probably just going to terminate the video at this point. Okay, multiple ways I've been trying to verify it. This is a Kmart having the product and description saying the 2.2 horsepower, 15 amp motor is what I was able to, what it also reveals under, where'd it go? It was just up here. Okay. 15 amp, right. 15 amp motor. We use a quick chart over here. I love these quick charts. Amps, 15 amps, we plug it in at 120 volts. It states 90% efficiency. You get 2.17 horsepower. They say it's 2.20. I guess that's close enough. The running back to this product here, volts. I can't find the manual yet, so I'm going to have to leave the video as it is, and if it's wrong, I'm going to put comments down below saying, hey, when it came in, the manual shows that this thing was not 15 amps. They took some liberty. But I'll let you know otherwise. Otherwise, it looks like it's got the power much more than the RIDGID product. Okay, it took me only a moment to find it. Finally found it. Here's the manual. 1600 watts. When we do the conversion using beautiful Google, 1600 watts, 2.14 horsepower. So there we are, 2.14 horsepower on that product. And I appear to have lost the manual now. All right, 1600 watts. How's that? And now we look at thing is like as an overheat. So we look at over and let it determine what gearbox cover. And on this page it says keep proper. Okay. Well, that doesn't look like what I'm looking for. I said over. I don't see over on this page. Moving on. Over moving. Air vent often covers moving parts and should be avoided. Do not wear loose clothes. Okay. And over. The warning caution instructions do not cover. Okay. So let's look at thermal. Thermal first. Let's see if it has that. Okay. Let's look at heat. Oops. Heat. 2 heats. Trying to find the word heat on this page. Let's do the next page. Heat spacer. Wow. Okay. And heat. I'm going to pause this and read this manual real quick. Doesn't talk about overheating, apparently. So this does use carbon brushes right here. The carbon brushes must be checked and maintained when the machine is operating reaching 60 hours. Change the brushes immediately if you find the brushes worn out. So brushes, and the brushes are pretty easily take out and remove. I'm not exactly sure where I stand on brush and brushless. I do like my Milwaukee products that are brushless. I do also don't mind replacing brushes on material on products. It sort of tells you the timeline and wearing out. I'm I'm I've got 2 year warranty on this. The brushes, I don't have an issue with it at this point. We had brushes before, right? All right, got a stator right there for that, and move down. Um, so they don't right. So this is the Northern Tool and Equipment Company, made in China. All right, made in China. I don't know what I think about that now. I thought Klutch was made somewhere else. I've seen a few guys use Klutch, and I've got another Klutch product or two. I thought Klutch was made in Europe, man. Wow, I guess Chinese are Europe in my brain. I guess I dropped the ball on that. I thought Klutch was made in Europe. Wow, made in China. Maybe I don't know. I'm going to end the video with this technical specifications. Power 60. We talked about that. No load. Here we go. Mixing volume, 10.5 to 26.5 gallons is what you can do. I want to mix 12 and 12 pretty much right behind each other. That's a lot more than 26.5 gallons. So this is of interest to me. But 5 gallon buckets. They give me five gallon buckets. You're gonna have some time between mixing. I'm not going to have 5 gallons lined up of water and I'm just jump from one to the next. Although I would like to do that. I'll see. I'll see how great this mix. I'm going to keep it no matter what because I won't always be mixing a large quantity. Sometimes you're mixing a small quantity, and I do like the idea of the turbine idea that one is pushing down, one's pulling up. It really getting that mix done fast. You got to spend money to make money. You can't be so cheap all the time, guys. Take care. Wish you the best. I do recommend this one. I'm trying to trigger it against the Chinese thing um, for multiple reasons. I'd rather buy American. But it looks like I'm already committed to this Chinese product. Would I have done it if I didn't already purchase it? Probably still would like this product. I'd have a real issue with that it's not strong. That the RIDGID is not strong, and it has such a short run time of 5 minutes, and then cycle, and they need to be put down for the most part. And they don't brag about these many gallons, so darn it, I'd have to put aside my bias against the Chinese market and everything else and what they do to our economy, and I'd probably have to do the smarter business move and just do it. So business move is to buy the Chinese product. The emotional other side of me says, well, you don't want to support the Chinese. The bias part of me says, don't support the Chinese market. So there you have. Business move says support. The financial move is to buy this, considering that the motor and everything is of good quality. But I have a 2 year warranty, so my cost of ownership, if it fails, is 2 years, and theoretically it can fail near the second year. They send me out a new one, and then I now have a 1 year warranty on that new one, so I can get this to go out the cost of ownership to 3 years if it breaks near the end of the second year, or approximately 3 years. You see the difference. Take care. This is a comparison. Thumbs down or thumbs up. Tell me what I did wrong, please.